Google published a spec for AI memory that's just markdown files on disk. I built one from scratch on my own machine with a model I already run. OKF stands for Open Knowledge Format. It's Google's spec for structured, cross-linked markdown that an AI agent can query without a vector database. The tool that builds one locally is called Synto, described in the community Awesome OKF list as a local-first wiki builder that runs a two-tier Ollama pipeline. A small model reads your notes and pulls out concepts. A bigger model writes the actual cross-linked articles. It's the actively maintained successor to an earlier project by the same author, Obsidian LLM Wiki Local. Before any of this, you need Ollama, running locally, reachable at localhost 11.4.34, and Python 3.11 or newer. That's Synto's stated minimum. No GPU anywhere in this pipeline, no vector database, no API key at any point. 2 models, 2 jobs. Pull Gemma 4.e4b, Google's Gemma 4 Edge variant, about 9.6 gigabytes for fast concept extraction. Pull QON 2.5 14b for the heavy lifting, writing full articles. Both run on CPU, no GPU required, just slower. Then install Synto with pip or UV and run Synto setup, an interactive wizard that picks your provider, sets the endpoint, and assigns which model handles which tier. Here's what that wizard writes. A config.toml with 2 provider blocks pointed at your local Ollama endpoint on port 11.4.34. The fast roll gets Gemma 4.e4b. The heavy roll gets QN 2.5.14b. No API key field exists anywhere in this file because there's nothing to authenticate against. Spin up a vault with Synto in it, then drop your own markdown into the raw folder, or import PDFs directly with Synto add, tagged as paper, textbook, spec, whatever fits. Run Synto run, and the 2-tier pipeline kicks in. Gemma 4 extracts concepts, Qwen 2.5 writes drafts. By default, nothing publishes automatically. Drafts sit in wiki.drafts until you review, verify, and approve them. Want a fast demo instead? Synto run with auto-approve skips the review step entirely. Here's the gotcha the docs don't hide. LLM-generated crosslinks can hallucinate targets that don't exist. Synto's own README admits it. 2 notes about Kafka become one merged concept unless you catch it. The fix is giving every concept a stable entity, an ID, separate from its display name, plus manual concept merge and concept split commands when the model gets it wrong. This is not a flawless pipeline. It's a pipeline that admits where it breaks and gives you a wrench. Query your own vault straight from the CLI. Synto query, what is consistent hashing, pulls the concept file and its neighbors, no embeddings involved. Add synthesize, and it drafts a synthesized answer, or run find as a reverse lookup by term. For quick B-roll, Google's own repo ships 3 sample bundles, GA4, Stack Overflow, and Crypto Bitcoin, each with a self-contained VESI, .html, you open with no server. Here's how it actually plugs into a live chat. Run Synto serve, vault my-wiki, and it turns your vault into an MCP server. Register it in your client config. Command points at Synto, args at serve, plus the vault path. Your MCP client, Claude Code, Cursor, whatever, connects over stdio, calls search and read tools against your wiki, and the model answers from your actual notes instead of guessing. Ask it something like, what's the difference between our staging and prod configs? And it pulls the real answer from what you wrote, not from training data. There's also a remote HTTP variant if you'd rather hit it over the network. Synto serve with, transport, streamable, HTTP. Synto's MCP server is one option. By the way, I post these daily. Subscribe if local AI interests you. There's also okft, a separate community linter and server built for the OKF spec, not tied to Synto at all. Install it, lint a bundle with strict to catch spec violations, then serve it and register it the same way. Claude MECP add pointing at okft serve. It exposes 4 tools, OKF overview, OKF read, OKF TIA search, and OKF list. Deterministic graph traversal, no embeddings, no database anywhere in the loop. One honest caveat, OKFT says it plainly in its own docs. The spec is young, and so is this tool. issues, and PRs, welcome. One claim you'll see floating around, that Claude Code natively discovers OKF bundles, no plugins or config needed. That's marketing copy from a bundle directory site, not an Anthropic feature. Proof it's not real. There's a small ecosystem of community Claude Code skills, like OKF Skill and OKF Skills, built specifically to teach Claude how to read and validate the format. If native support existed, those plugins would be pointless. The honest version, point any coding agent at the folder, and it reads the markdown because it's markdown. Or better, use the MCP server, which actually is documented and works with any MCP client. The same MCP pattern shows up outside wikis too. SameMind applies it to agent memory for coding specifically, an append-only work ledger plus an identity brief, stored as an OKF, compatible Git native markdown bundle, set up with npx SameMind setup, then npx SameMind serve, registered with Claude MCP add, just like the others. Nobody's benchmarked this pipeline against a naive RAG setup or against just pasting raw notes into context. Not on Archive, not in either repo, not in a blog post anywhere. Synto ships two eval commands, synto eval and synto compare, but they check structural health, broken links, orphan concepts, or A/B test2 synto configs against each other. Neither compares against a baseline. OKFT's lint, strict checks, spec conformance, not answer quality. The one number floating around online, a claim of up to 95% token reduction versus naive document loading, comes from a single Medium post about OKF in general, not this pipeline, and it isn't a controlled study. The real, filmable comparison, count the words in your raw notes folder against the words in one concept file, plus its linked neighbors. That's the actual size difference, not a percentage somebody made up. One adjacent tool worth knowing. OpenWiki, from LangChain, auto-documents a codebase, or in personal mode, builds a wiki from Gmail, Notion, X, and web search. As of version 0.2, it emits OKF formatted output. OKF version 0.1 in the root index, type front matter on every concept file. It does support Ollama, listed as an OpenAI compatible endpoint, but its default provider on first run is OpenAI's GPT 5.6 Terra. If you want an all-local run, you have to edit the .env yourself and point it at your Ollama endpoint. It also collects anonymous usage data by default. Set OpenWiki telemetry disabled tier 1 if you'd rather it didn't. On hardware, Synto's own docs say the 4B plus 14B combo works offline on 16 gigabytes of RAM. That's the developer's stated target, not an independently benchmarked number. Total disk for both models lands around 13 to 14 gigabytes. If your machine is lighter, there's a budget path Synto documents directly. Assign Gemma 4-boron E4B to both the fast and heavy rolls in setup. Lower quality output, but it runs on much less hardware. For incremental work, Synto Watch keeps recompiling as you drop new notes in, and it's incremental. Changing one note only recompiles the articles derived from it, not your whole 200-note vault. And if you want to see this pattern already live before building your own, there's a public example. A Cloudflare worker called Knowledge MCP serving one person's 793 concept bundle over search, read, and related tools. No self-hosting required to poke at it. OKF isn't vaporware. Pull two models, build a bundle from your own notes, serve it over MCP. All of it's real and running on my machine right now. No cloud key touched. Grounding an agent in your own notes beats hoping the model remembers correctly. Try it and tell me what breaks.